best of their capability, but some people are just they're not really looking to do any sort of legwork or thought thinking, or any of that. They just you know want to go with whoever sounds best. I mean, it happens all the time.
What do you think his motivation is to come on here all the time and try and prove to people that these three angles add up to more than 180 degrees and pretty much spending a lot of his effort, a lot of his time. Like he's got I mean, he's got it made. I don't see why. I mean, like for some people, they've got something to look forward to and like some growth in their spiritual awareness and maybe even their financial freedom and stuff like that. But like someone like Ruhif is pretty much sounds like he's got his family and everything's made. Like he spends his time doing this frivolous sort of waste of his time sort of a scenario. I don't see what is in it for him. The only thing I can think of is a whole bunch of shillery.
I think I know why.
Let us know. Is he in? He wants the flat Earth chicks, right?
No, I think he wants to. Like, I think it's the same reason that you guys talk about it. You want to know what the truth is, and you want to try and convince people of what you think the truth is. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, but like this dude is trying. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. Do you know Ruhif?
Vaguely, I've heard of him.
Well, but basically he just uses a theodolite and he does angles for occlusion of stars and mountaintop peaks like curving. He's trying to find the curve optically, and like he spends a lot of his time doing this, and it's like his whole objective is to try and show that there's a curve. That's it. That's what he does all day, every day.
Yeah, I think he wants. Didn't he used to be a flat earther? Am I remembering that correctly?
No, he's never been a flat earther.
Oh, who am I thinking of then?
I'm talking about the Australian guy, Rohif.
Well, I think he just wants to help people.
Is he Australian or is he New Zealand?
He's Australian. He's in Sydney.
I mean, I think the vast majority of like human motivations are super similar.
I don't think so, man. I think that most people that come on here is because they want to be like, it's quite a bunch of trauma that people go through when they actually find out the truth, and that trauma needs support, and that support needs confirmation, and that confirmation leads to a whole bunch of discussion, and because there are so many aspects to this dynamic, like a world that we live in, there's a lot of deception everywhere, and people like Ruhif, he's not searching any of that. He's just trying to proclaim that the mainstream narrative. He's trying to support that with some type of observation that everyone can just sort of see straight through, because it's not even bouncing off any other information. It's just standalone by itself and disregarding all of the problems that we found with the heliocentric model. Don't know if you get like my drift there, but it's
I think I do.
It's not the same motive why everybody comes on and talks on Earth Awakenings.
Well, actually, I kind of like that, like the way that you're saying it, because like that's generally what I try to do in these spaces is give you ideas and things that you can confirm yourself that would demonstrate the truthfulness of my claims, so that you don't even have to rely on me. You can go confirm it yourself. And it sounds like that's trying to be like what he's providing, that if XY conditions are true and you can confirm XY conditions yourself, then the Earth is, a globe, or you guys would say flat, right?
Well, I don't think he's in it for charity purposes and to, bring people, feeling sympathy for people that maybe have some, what do you call it, mental disorder or some type of a emotional trauma that they can't like see through, like they're in some type of a denial phase or something. I don't see that he's in it for any of that. It's just pushing a narrative, and it's not supporting the heirs of who it lands on. It's just it's propping up his own agenda. I don't know.
Sound
You'd
like
probably have to listen to him because you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. It might not be appropriate. Like you might be thinking it's someone else. I don't know.
yeah, it sounds like I'm thinking of somebody else. I think the person I'm thinking of is English, but whatever. It's. I mean, would you want to talk about like something that I think that demonstrates the Earth is a globe?
Yeah, I don't know. Like you'd think that like one of the easiest ways to show like whether or not it's a globe is the fact that two plumb bobs are parallel. You think you'd be able to measure that, and you'd need to be like a certain distance apart and have a side on view to be able to measure it optically. But optically, like left to right, 69 degrees. You should have a 1 degree. You should have two buildings left and right, 69 miles apart from each other. They should be leaning away from each other 1 degree. If you're able to get back far enough, and maybe you could use like 100 high-tech 360-degree cameras or whatever. However you do it, you should be able to see this orthographic view of plumb bobs being parallel or not. I think that should be like possible to be done. What do you think?
It's an interesting idea. I've never heard of somebody actually doing that. I mean, I've seen something similar where like you could take a like a level or just anything that's perfectly flat. You can even just take a string line, put it up to the horizon where you can see a substantial amount. Like a notable couple miles, like 40, 50, 60 miles, something like that. And
The
then you can
problem with that,
take a
it's not.
photo with the line dead center and see if it goes above below, if it actually curves on that line.
It's not going to work. No, no, it's not going to work because if you take a hula hoop, and if you had a kitchen table and you cut a hole in the table and you stood in on the floor in the middle of that table that you just cut a hole in, and then you put a hula hoop on that flat level table, and then you crouch down so your eye level was at the hula hoop, it would look like the sides were curving just simply because it's 360 around you, even though you know that the hula hoop's flat on the table. That's the same as the horizon. So you wouldn't
Well,
be able to prove either way.
why would the horizon be a circle around you? Wouldn't it just like merge into the air if it was flat?
Everything is a circle around you.
I mean, I'm looking at it like a pretty square car in front of me. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, that's not at the horizon, though, is it?
Saying
We're
every
talking about
part of the horizon is a circle around you?
No, I'm talking about at ocean, like just ocean, just water, nothing else, no mountains, no, just water at the ocean. If you were on a boat
Hmm.
in the middle of the ocean and all you had around you was water,
Hmm.
and you were high enough, say like 20 foot above, like say you're on like one of those U.S. Navy boats in the middle of the ocean. If you looked all the way around you, there's a
Hmm.
circle around you like the hula hoop. So it would look curved if you're able to get such a wide enough angle or in your photo. So that's why you need to have something like two buildings with the plumb bobs like 69 miles apart, so you could tell if they're leaning away 1 degree or not at 69 miles.
Well, I mean, the thing that you're talking about, you can actually do with just one theodolite, though. You can do, what reciprocal zenith angles are, of course, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that does exactly what you're asking for, and those instruments are actually like precision made to measure exactly something like that.
If you can see three objects, right, around you in the same space, like with no obstructions, like you've got a right angle triangle right there, isn't it?
But if you're at one point A and you can see points B, C, and
So
D, that makes a right triangle.
sorry, I said misword. So like if you are on one of the 3 points of a triangle and you can see the other two
Okay.
points, and each one of those points can see the other 2 points, so they're not obstructed by anything, then you've got a 180-degree triangle there, isn't it? It's impossible for you to have more than 180 degrees if you've got line of sight from every point.
Sure, unless you're on a sphere that's like small, because then
Unless
you'd start getting spherical excess.
Yeah, but this spherical axis is just like what I was saying with the two plumb bobs leaning away. You'd have to have them 69 miles apart from each other minimum to be able to display the leaning away, not parallel plumb bobs.
Yeah, but like the point of me bringing up the theodolite is like it's actually designed to be able to measure because it's measuring angles. That's what a theodolite does, right? Measuring very small second arc seconds of angles, and you can measure to see how far above or below 90 degrees from the downward force, whatever's pulling us down, something is. And if you look from point A to point B, you see that point B is slightly lower from your perspective at point A, and then you go over to point B, and the same thing happens at when you're looking at point A. That's demonstrating that they're actually pointing slightly above each other, even though they're registering. You know, like you have an instrument that's within that margin of error of I think it's like a
Yeah,
couple arc seconds
that's
typical
where
for
I
a
think the
theodolite.
problem is. Yeah, that's where I think the problem is the margin of error. If you think about the crosshairs in the theodolite, or just those grid pattern on the theodolite, that grid pattern is a certain thickness. Just for argument's sake, call it the thickness of a Caucasian head hair, right? Or a Mexican's arm hair, whatever you want. Um, and if you're looking through that theodolite at a car which is 20 meters away, you're going to be able to that hair thickness of the hair probably would be thick enough to cover the badge, the name badge on the car. But when that car got away, say 69 miles away, the thickness of that hair would be able to block out the entire car. So the amount of measurement that you're getting is the further that you're measuring, the more inaccurate it's going to be. And if you're trying to measure mountains and prove plumb bobs aren't parallel, um, you're going to have to get away at such a distance that the crosshairs are going to have too much error. And these machines are used for surveying, but they're not
Yep.
accurate enough to tell you about the curve. They can tell you angles and they can tell you distance, but they're not going to be able and altitude. They're not going to tell you one thing though, whether or not plumb bobs are parallel. That's one thing they're definitely not going to tell you when you're talking about the Earth, because you need to follow their their calculations, which is the Earth curve calculator, and so you need to get more than 69 miles away to be able to do it. And that machine is not built to measure the Earth's curve. It's built for surveying. It's a totally Ruhif is the one that uses this all the time and uses it as a claim, but that's not what it's built for. It's built for surveying. It's not built for Earth curve measuring.
Well, I'm a little concerned because like you're mixing up units a lot. What it's doing is measuring arc second, like it's measuring literal degrees. It doesn't measure distance. Like there are I think total stations can have attachments that'll actually measure some kind of distance. And you're right, there is like a margin of error once you get beyond a certain length. That distance measurement isn't accurate. But for a theodolite itself, like the margin of error is solely based off arc second. So if no matter what your object is, if you're looking at it, it's going to be plus or like let's just say 1 arc second. If that object is large enough for you to see it at 200 miles, let's say, and you're measuring it from off of the horizontal, it's still going to accurately give you how far off the horizontal it is within an arc second. The distance away from the object, as long as you're, taking into consideration some atmospheric conditions, is going to be accurate. But it sounds like you kind of disagree with that the margin of error also expands with distance, even if you do keep an account for refraction.
I've got
And
a
I just,
phone call, but I just I will come back. But the thing is, I'll just leave you with this: is perspective is a thing that is is not as measurable as you think.
I think perspective's super measurable. Anybody else want to talk?
Well, we'll wait until he comes back, but I just wanted to make a comment about the vacuum chamber with the so-called syringe rocket action lab. I posted the video, and you can clearly see the rocket does not move right away. It's when the gas or the exhaust hits the wall that it moves. So much for that idea. That's just a parlor trick.
I mean, can you take a bowling ball and stand on a skateboard and throw it, and you'll move in the opposite direction that you threw the bowling ball?
We're not talking about a bowling ball. We're talking
Yeah, I
about
am.
exhaust, from a so-called rocket.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a bowling ball. Would you agree with the bowling ball statement?
Yeah, that's not the same thing. You're talking
Sure.
bowling balls. I'm talking
Yep.
gas coming out of a nozzle, exhaust.
Sure. So, like, let's say instead of a bowling ball, you had some like pressurized water. Like you had water and you were just spraying it directly back, but there was a cliff behind you so that the water wasn't hitting the ground, but just going out into empty air. If you had high enough pressure water, that would also push the skateboard, right?
Again, you change the scenario.
Yeah, I changed it from a solid to a liquid.
Show me in a vacuum. Don't change the scenario. Show me in a vacuum chamber. And by the way, that's not as close to a vacuum as supposedly up there, right? But we'll go with that. Until you can show me a said rocket in a vacuum chamber, you really have nothing. You can talk about water, medicine balls, skating boards. It doesn't matter.
Sure. Well, I guess like the point that I'm getting at is no matter what the thing is, as long as you throw something with mass fast enough, it'll cause you to move in the opposite direction. But it sounds like you disagree with that statement.
Nope. You're changing what we're talking about. We're talking about a rocket in a vacuum chamber, not skateboards, not bowling balls, not water being ejected.
Sure. I said anything. If you throw anything fast enough,
You're breaking up there. And once again, you're changing the subject. You're changing it. I understand that you want to change it, but I'm not talking about any of the things you just said. We're talking about a rocket with exhaust. Nothing else. Anything else you say is not what I'm talking about. And it's funny, the government has a big, huge vacuum chamber that they can show that. I mean, all these years, nobody has thought to use that. Just saying. Same with their spacesuit. They can test it in there, show everybody, put a man in there. Guess not.
So you want
Well,
to
looks
talk
like
about
we
my
got
thing at all? Or?
McToon triggered. Sorry?
So did you want to talk about my hypothetical at all, or it sounded like no?
No, not interested at all, bro. Not at all. I'm talking about what I brought up with. I mean, somebody else could talk with you about that, but until you show me a rocket, small, of course, in a vacuum chamber, moving right away, not waiting until the exhaust hits the wall, I'm not interested in what else you have to say. Nothing personal, but it's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And that's your standard of evidence. You have to like witness it directly.
Correct. In this case, yes. It should be easy enough to show it,
Oh,
right? We have large
wait.
vacuum chambers. Like I said before, I don't know
Why?
if you missed it. The one at
Why in this
Tunguska, I
particular
believe.
case?
It's a what?
Why is that your standard in this case? Why not? Is that your standard for all things, or just this thing?
Why are you trying to change the subject, bro? I don't understand.
Because you don't
Do
want to
you
talk about the
have
same
what
thing
I'm
that I want to
asking
talk about.
for? Yes or no? It's very simple. You either have it
No, I don't.
or you
Obviously,
don't.
I
Don't
don't.
try to
I don't want to
psychoanalyze me,
understand.
bro. And you notice that you're speaking right through me every time I speak, right? Is that like a problem
No,
for
I'm
you?
giving
Or
you your answer that you asked for.
while I'm talking?
No, I don't. I don't. Yeah, because the rest of it's useless if I have the answer.
So you figure it's okay to cut me right in the middle of my sentence. Okay, I get it.
Okay, so is that your standard for everything
I mean,
now,
to
or
be fair, when you're talking is my favorite time. All right, God.
Ah, he did it to you too.
sorry, I got a little bit of a delay. I wasn't trying to.
So don't you find it funny that there isn't one video in all these years, all these huge vacuum chambers, not one video showing that?
You know,
Of course you don't. That's why NASA keeps
I mean, I would have to assume.
training.
I would have to assume that NASA would test their rockets inside the vacuum. Oh, which one's the best? What's the best shape? Can we get more bang for our buck or something? You know what I'm saying? They'd be constantly testing rockets inside their giant vacuum. Just nonstop, pretty much.
I would think
I
so,
don't think
just
that would
like the
work.
suits that they never test. Yeah, sure.
Like as soon as you try to test a rocket in a vacuum chamber, there's going to be a ton of gas in it, and it's not going to be a vacuum chamber anymore. Why would you want to test it in there?
You just don't get it, what we said, right? Or either you don't get it or you're trying to skirt around it. It's one of the two.
I
Did you
mean,
not
I
hear what I
literally
said?
just said it. You'd want to check. You didn't hear what I said. You're asking the question. I answered with my first statement. Why would they test it? They would test it because they'd want to figure out which nozzle shape is the best shape and how they can get more bang for their buck. Maybe ask it again. Ask it again.
Yeah, that's
No, I
not
said,
responding to what he
why would
they
they
said.
would do it.
test it? Why would they test it in there? There are other places that they can test it, like high altitude. Why would they want to do it inside a very expensive vacuum chamber when the vacuum chamber is going to immediately fill with gas and not be a vacuum chamber anymore?
Well, I mean, it's not going to be a vacuum chamber if they test it in the air. Why would they
If you
test it in the
test it
air?
at
It's not
high
a vacuum
altitude,
chamber. Why would you test it at high altitude? It's not a vacuum.
because it's very close to a vacuum if you go up in high enough altitude, right?
I mean, if you're high enough, you're just
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point? Yeah, so you're saying just build a real one. Don't even bother testing it. We could just do it.
No, I'm saying test it at high altitude. Why would you test it in a vacuum chamber where you can't test it hardly at all? It doesn't make sense.
I don't
You
know.
know, they
I
have
don't know why you would
specific.
test. Why would you test anything? I know.
No,
You can
to
test it in
his
high
thing, right?
altitude.
Why
It
waste?
doesn't make sense.
I know, I'm not. No, I know.
So I
I
I
mean,
posted a demonstration in the
this
side
is
chat.
pretty much
Oh,
why
I
I'm
can't
just
get
not
in, I
feeling
guess.
it anymore. Oh, we started talking at the same time. Maybe I don't know. You want to power through me, or this is why I'm just not feeling it anymore. Like it's just a never-ending dog shit nonstop.
Well, I actually posted a video, which was a demonstration of a guy on a wheelie board with a bowling ball throwing, or the medicine ball rather, throwing the medicine ball, moving the little wheelie cart thing backwards.
Percentage of his weight did it throw?
Ball's not hitting against a wall. So why does the thing move?
Maybe you missed the part that I said I don't want to hear about bowling balls or water. We're specifically asking for a rocket inside a vacuum chamber. Like, is that hard for you guys to understand? I think I spoke clear English there.
You don't want a rebuttal to it that's easier to understand. Okay.
No, I don't want anything that doesn't have a vacuum chamber and a rocket with thrust. That is correct. You got it, man. Finally.
Okay,
I mean, I think
you
it's a
can just
fair
run from the demonstration
comparison.
that shows that your position is nonsense. I mean, if I was
I mean,
trying to show the nonsense you are, I'd probably run from it too.
Yeah, it's
I think it would be
irrelevant
more
what you think,
helpful.
buddy. Totally irrelevant.
I think it'd be more helpful if you told us why it's not analogous, why these things can't be compared. Because what I'm seeing with the guy throwing a bowling ball is essentially a thing with mass being pushed off from another thing, causing the object that pushed it to have an equal and opposite reaction in the opposite direction, right? But why would that not be the case with gas in a vacuum?
I don't know. Do these guys not understand English? Is my accent that thick that they don't hear what I'm saying?
I just asked you a question. Why are you not answering the question?
I'm gonna try it for the fifth time. I'm asking for a specific thing. You either can show it or admit that you cannot show it. That's it. There's no other option here. I don't want to know about your grandmother or your grandfather or bowling balls or anything like that, bro. Is that clear?
Hear how much he has to whine and moan to get away from it? It's hilarious.
No, you're the one that's whining and groaning and not admitting you don't have the thing that we're asking for specifically. Just say no, SC. We don't have it. We cannot show it, but I can show you something else.
Not analogous to what you're asking for.
Forget it, bro. Don't waste my time. Either come up with it or talk with yourself. Very simple.
Well, I don't have a video offhand showing you that. Should we just move the conversation on?
No, you can do whatever you want. If you don't have what I want, just say I don't have it, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't have that video.
Perfect. Thank you.
Do you have a map of the whole Earth?
Always happens, man. Always. When they're
just
stuck,
if you don't have it, just admit you don't have it.
They always go to the flat Earth.
Hey, if you don't have the thing we're asking for, just admit you don't have it.
And you're interrupting every time I speak. That shows you have nothing. It shows your desperation.
If you don't have it, just admit you don't have it. I mean, I asked for one thing in particular. If you don't have it, just grow a pair and admit you don't have it.
You see the tactics, ladies and gentlemen? This is the type of people we're dealing with.
I admitted I didn't have that video. Where's your common decency?
Go play your game somewhere else, man. Go play your
game. Hear that? You see that, everybody? I conceded to him. I didn't have the video that he was looking for. Move the conversation on. And he does not have the common decency to give me that same respect. This is why he's not worth engaging with.
Flat Earth.
Don't you guys love it? Don't you guys love it? I do.
Oh, there's it looks like Bull Knight. Bull Knight posted the video that you were looking for, Essie.
No, that's not it.
You haven't even watched it yet.
Little chamber. Yeah.
Okay, so what exactly are you looking for?
Listen, dude, just go on mute and let the grown-ups talk, okay?
You want a huge vacuum chamber?
Everybody heard what I said. We said it many times. And by the way, to the other gentleman that I was speaking to, they have those specific. If you're worried about damaging the vacuum chamber, they have specific vacuum chambers where they test rockets.
How big are they?
That's a nothing burger.
How big are they? Where are they?
Dude, don't
You
talk
have
to
a
me. I don't
video
want
of
to
it?
talk to you anymore. Just
What a
either like
whiny
just go on
little
mute or don't talk to me. You're a troll. I'm not interested in talking to you.
Yeah, all you can do is attack me, my character, instead of actually engaging with the argument.
Like I said, don't talk to me.
I mean,
I'm not
are you
interested
saying
in
that it's
what
a
you have to
troll
say.
move to ask for a specific thing?
100%. That's
No, I know this guy from a while, and all he does is troll. I really don't care what you have to say, bro. Like, not in the least bit.
Yeah, because I come out,
Well, like
put you over my knee.
I am genuinely interested in seeing if you have a map or this vacuum chamber that tests rockets.
Oh, man. I love it.
But see, that's all he can do is laugh, act incredulous, and ignore
no?
all questions to him.
Just use
Was the
your
answer
Google,
no?
and you'll
I
see
wasn't
they
sure.
have, like, I'm surprised that you don't know about the other guy's a troll. I'm not interested in, but you, sir, just all you have to do is just Google where NASA tests rockets in a vacuum. It's very simple.
I mean, yo, if there was a new guy, if you were like brand new to this and you came in and you're like, yo, do you guys have a map of the whole flat earth? That is reasonable. But for dudes that just been asking it every day over and over again, I mean, you're just trolling at this point.
Yeah, it's obvious.
You know what would stop us
Like
from asking for a
you're
map
just
every
I
day,
don't see why that's
Jeremy?
trolling. I think it's
You're
a sincere
just
question.
trolling, dude. Yeah, it's sincere the first time you ask it, maybe the second or the third. Once you've asked everyone every day for years, it gets kind of old.
But how many times do you think that's been answered?
I mean, I still think it's a valid question.
Yeah, it's valid the first time you ask, and the second time, how many times are you going to ask before it's just not valid anymore?
It's not
It'll
the
stop
point that
being
they just
valid.
asked.
It'll stop being valid as soon as we get a map.
Yeah, but
It's
when
not the
somebody
point
tells
that
you
they
no,
asked, Jeremy. It's
when
the
somebody
point
tells
that
you no, and then you ask day after day after day, and they keep telling you no, 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 then when are you trolling and not trolling?
Oh,
Aren't we asking the same for the vacuum
it's
chamber?
the point that
the
they
rocket
asked
as
without
well?
providing evidence of the vacuum chamber. That's the point.
What?
It's when you're stuck,
but we
you
didn't ask
always
for
go
it.
to the shape of the
Vacuum
earth.
chamber thing.
That's the point. You always do it. All of you guys. Well, not all.
Well,
But
I was just highlighting that the thing that you want all of us to do is something that you won't even engage in yourself.
no, you're just a troll.
Hilarious.
I think Turnabout's fair play. He's just asking you essentially for the same thing that you're asking from us.
No, you don't know him well enough. That's why. That's all this guy does. So back to the point. There's many, many years, right? They have this huge vacuum chambers, right? They never tested a spacesuit in them, or the simple thing of showing us how thrust works from a rocket. Not one video of this. I find it fascinating. And they do have the vacuum chambers, which the American taxpayers pay heavily for. I mean, they're there. Years of people questioning NASA. You'd think they'd produce, like, put a guy in a suit, make him, show him how he can manipulate the arms, use the equipment, use the tools, right? Nothing. Or the rocket thing. Everyone's telling them, look, we don't believe you. Yeah, I know what they're going to show. It's hilarious, man. Every single time.
I just proved you wrong. Here's a 360 video of the spacesuit training in a vacuum chamber at NASA Johnson. Will you now concede that they've tested the suit in a vacuum chamber?
That's not what I asked for, troll. Please don't address me. Do me
You
a
just
favor.
said there's no
Just don't
videos of them
address me.
testing the
I
suit
don't,
in a
I'm
vacuum
not interested
chamber.
in anything you have to say, bro. Nothing. Don't address me.
Yeah, because you're not here to actually have the discussion. You're here to just preach your
Not with
nonsense.
you. Not with you.
Yeah, because I'll prove you wrong.
No, that's not what I asked for. That video, I've seen it many, many times. It's not what I asked for.
Okay, so then you just lied when you said there are no videos of them testing a spacesuit in a vacuum chamber.
That's not what I asked for. I asked a spacesuit where they manipulate and put the stuff together, showing how they, how they manipulate the tools and how they put the stuff like the buggy together. So stop trolling.
Okay, so now you're looking for footage from the moon of them assembling the lunar rover. That
You
is
see
not
what he
what
does?
you asked
See, that's
for.
why I don't want to talk to you, bro. Don't address me, bro. Just please don't address me.
Because you moved the goalpost, you don't want to talk to me? What kind of sense does that
No, I
make?
said it
Oh,
from
I
the
guess because I
beginning.
point out
Stop
that you've moved
trolling,
the
bro.
goalposts.
Don't talk to me. I'm not interested in anything you have to say, bro. Nothing.
Yeah, you're not interested in the truth. You're not interested in actually having the debate. You're only here to preach your nonsense over and over in hopes that it might convince someone who doesn't know any better.
So regardless of what this troll just said, I hope everybody else understood what I said, right? In all the years, they don't have any video of them actually manipulating the stuff that they're gonna have to do on Earth, on the moon, right? Like the space buggy, the antenna, the tools showing that, all that. That's specifically what I'm asking for, and not from this guy. I don't care what you have to say.
Yeah, we definitely shouldn't be like trying to convince people that don't know any better. We should do something about these government schools, just day after day, like, invading 5-year-olds' minds. This globe earth propaganda. We really should stop doing it. I agree.
Very
Yeah,
cute.
absolutely. Like if a SEAL team is gonna practice to train underwater for a specific mission, right? They're gonna actually go underwater. They're gonna actually use the tools that they're gonna use on the actual mission and train. I'm not
And they
asking
have
for
to
anything
film it as well?
out of the blue. Don't interrupt me, dude. I'm not
They have
asking
to film
anything out
it?
of
They
the
have to
blue.
film their
Just
training
stop
underwater with all
interrupting
their
me.
tools?
We're gonna put you on mute, bro. Stop interrupting. It's not a big ask, right? Just to show a video of them like trying to put the buggy together and manipulating the actual tools that use on the moon. That's not a big ask.
Well, I mean, where's the video of the SEALs manipulating their tools underwater for their mission? Silence.
I'm not gonna address you anymore. Not just don't talk to me. If you say something towards me, you're not gonna get a response. Period.
What
End of
else is
story.
new?
You are a troll.
You make it sound like that's some kind of news that you're not going to respond to what's said. That's all you do is dodge and evade the point the other person's making so that you can just continue on your script to sow doubt in people about what they believe.
If anybody else cares to answer that question, or if you don't find it like at all funny that there is no testing, and the LEM that they supposedly landed on the moon, they have a test of that, and he almost kills himself. So there's a lot of scrutiny that anybody with critical thinking could see and say, "This is a
How
big
would you
con."
know?
They conned us.
What do you know about anyone with critical thinking doing? Nothing.
So, what is it that you're skeptical about the globe about? Thing in the standard model of cosmology or the globe? Are you critical about anything?
But the globe?
Yeah, any globers would like to find out what they're critical about the globe? Any?
Yeah,
That's
I've scrutinized the evidence for the globe and against the globe, and it weighs heavily for the globe.
so nothing specifically that you could think of.
Well, I would say that what would be the best one for me to put forward here? Observations at sunsets is a good one. Naked eye observation of the sun being partially obstructed by the Earth.
And that's bad news for the globe.
No, it's like I would think about what would happen if it wasn't a globe, and I think about what would happen if it was a globe, and I can see that the sun is partially obstructed, just as we would expect on a globe.
Oh, maybe you don't understand. I'll explain it a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get the feeling that maybe sometimes something that someone said about the globe was not true? And did you think to yourself, that's correct. Maybe something about the globe is not true. Something that goes against the globe that you're, thinking critically about and that you're skeptical of.
Yeah. Actually, I saw a projection that showed the size of Mexico at different latitudes, and comparing it to something like Russia or Canada. I was quite surprised to see that the surface area of it was a lot larger than I had originally thought from the projections I had seen.
Okay, with the map, talking about the globe model.
That is the the surface area of Mexico, as portrayed on any kind of projection, would be the globe model.
That's cartography, sir. I'm talking about the heliocentric model or the lambda-c model. Is there anything you think that people say is not correct? No, you could use competing theories. Like people say Newtonian's right. Some people say Malgramian's right. Some people say that Einstein's right. Any of those coming to ring a bell?
Nothing ringing any bells of questioning from my end there.
So you're projecting then into Montreal.
So
That's all
no,
he
I
does,
called him.
boy.
I
You're
called him
wasting
out for
your
his
time
lack of
with him.
critical thought
You're just
because of his
wasting your
lack of
time.
ability, seemingly, to engage in a legitimate debate, to actually give evidence for his side and make a case for it. His seeming lack of ability to do so lends me to think that he doesn't utilize any critical thinking.
This is what
Critical
you
thinking
call
doesn't just
coping,
mean
Larry. Not
questioning the
providing what I
heliocentric
asked
model.
for, talking through me, not providing anything I asked for, and showing everything except what we asked for. That's what they do. They're
Little
doing it.
buddy,
Look, they're
you
doing
took
it
a
in the
step
text.
aside and
That's
sat down.
all they do.
You sat
And
down
it's
crisscross
beautiful. I
applesauce
love. See how
next to the
triggered he is? How he's talking right
conversation.
through me?
You
See how
tapped
triggered he
out.
is? This is the
Why are
best
you
part.
talking?
He's talking right through me because
Because you
he
said you're not
knows.
talking to
He
me.
knows
Why are
it.
you
I'm not talking to you. Shut up. I'm not talking
Yeah,
to you.
exactly. So
He's
shut the fuck
talking
up. I'm the
right
one
through me. This
engaged
is
in a
all they
conversation.
do. Could we have some moderation, please? Can you? Yeah. This is exactly what they do. They talk right through you, and they don't show exactly what you asked for. That's all they do, Larry. It's all you're gonna get from them.
What a fucking crybaby. So Larry, having the ability to engage in critical thought doesn't mean you have to question the heliocentric model, right? They're not synonymous.
Okay. So what are you critical of? You've been looking at this model for how long, sir? You ain't found nothing?
I literally brought up a couple of different evidences or things that are included within the globe model, and you're like, no, not that. We have to be specifically talking about these aspects of the heliocentric model or the globe Earth.
I didn't ask you about
So
cartography, sir.
what?
I didn't ask you about cartography, sir. I'm asking about the model of the Earth, a sphere flying through space, known as the heliocentric or eccentric model.
But in the geocentric model, the Earth is also in space.
Some of them. Well, what's
Can
your
you show me
point?
one where there's not?
Yeah, the flat Earth model is geocentric.
Show me this flat Earth model that shows the flat Earth not in space.
Okay, there's flat Earth, right? I'm telling you about it right now. There's
I
topography,
said show.
water. I'm explaining it to you, right?
Can I have a visualization?
No, I'm just explaining it to you.
Oh,
So, it's flat Earth, right? There's no space except for the space between point A and point B, right? There's no outer space, ever expanding universe. So, is there anything that you're critical of? Because I spent a year and a half
critical. That's a sufficient answer.
after becoming a flat earther. I spent a year and a half on the fence being critical of both sides. So, can you demonstrate that you've done anything similar Have you been critical of dark matter? Anything? Or you just believe it all?
You
Like
keep going to these like esoteric, cutting edge parts of science when the
that's
globe,
science.
as a concept and
Can I have
as
that?
the entity we live on, has been verified and proven for thousands of years.
Can I have the independent variable of your cutting edge of science? I'd like to peer review.
Talking about like dark matter as a concept is cutting edge science. So asking me what my experiment is for dark matter in order to show that I've somehow been critical about the globe is completely ridiculous. I make no
Cutting edge
claims. I make
science.
no claims about dark matter.
So you just take it for whatever they say. You're going to believe it like blind faith. Let me guess. Do you think gravity is a force too?
That's a tricky question. I'd have to look into it more.
You don't know if gravity is a force. How long have you been doing this?
Engaging in conversation, or
Or specifically with flat earthers?
maybe 2 years.
2 years, and you don't know if gravity is a force or not.
Well, I've talked about it a little bit, but I need to review my notes. Is that a big aspect of what makes Earth a globe? Is if
Well,
whether or not gravity's a
they
force?
fall down. Were they created by a creator like a god, or were they created by gravity like a god?
That's not a true dichotomy.
Okay, what's the third option?
God
How are
created
space
gravity, which created it.
Oh, well, it's a huge dichotomy outside of my dichotomy, right? I'm astounded by your wisdom. You think
Well,
God
take it
created
easy.
gravity? You think God created gravity?
No,
Okay, then what are you talking about?
a third option to your fucking dichotomy.
I think I know why he's done. Done all. He doesn't even know if gravity is a force or not.
Getting the picture there, Larry, of what you're dealing with?
Yeah, bro. I mean, we got a blind faith believer. He believes everything.
Is Europe to the east of North America, Larry?
Does the sun shine sometimes? Whatever your name is. I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
I asked first.
It's called a conditional acceptance, sir. Look it up.
I asked you first, but yes, the sun does shine sometimes.
Yes, I have seen maps that Europe is depicted east of North America.
Okay. Now, how do you reconcile that in the known distance based on flight travels, or flight times rather, with your flat Earth? Do you have a rendition of these two places, North America and Europe, on a flat Earth?
Not my claim, couldn't care less.
So wait, you know that it's to the east, and we know there's a distance involved that can be measured, but you don't have a map of it.
Bro, I've never been to Europe. You're asking me to make claims, knowledge claims about something that I've never experienced. I'm not going to do that.
So then you don't even know if Europe's to the east.
Correct. I believe it.
Does Washington D.C. exist?
Yeah.
Have you been there?
There's the map.
Have you been
I
to
believe
Washington D.C., Larry?
first.
So you could be wrong about Washington D.C. existing?
The probabilities are very, very, very low. Suppose possible.
Did you meet your great great grandfather?
No,
I guess you can't know he existed then.
I believe that I had one. No, it's logically that you can know that he.
What's the argument?
Again, I'm not making any arguments. And
You
I
just said
know
you logically can deduce that you had a grandfather, a great great grandfather. Sorry.
doesn't everyone?
So you just assume it? Not very good logic, sir.
No, it's a knowledge thing. I was born in '82. Seeing how people come to the earth. They come into earth with grandparents, and those grandparents have grandparents. Grandparents have grandparents. It's a knowledge claim. How do you not know how this works?
And how do you justify knowledge claims?
Either through logic or firsthand experience. How do you justify knowledge claims? Seen it on TV.
Oh,
I
so
heard it.
wait, if someone hallucinates a dragon, did they know there was a dragon there?
Well, if they hallucinated, there's not a dragon there. Definition.
No, but they knew there was. They know there's a dragon there.
No, you have to start out. They saw a dragon. How do you know he hallucinated or did it see a dragon?